What if the car sitting in your driveway is already on the verge of extinction, and the manufacturer isn't saying a word? Sales are plummeting, models are vanishing, and drivers are being left stuck with vehicles nobody wants. In this video, we're breaking down 11 car brands on the brink of collapse, the scandals behind their decline, and why owning one could drain your wallet and destroy resale value. Let's get started. Kicking off the list at number 11 is Genesis. Genesis rushed into the US market with sharp styling, cutting-edge tech, and price tags that undercut BMW and Mercedes. On paper, it looked like the latest king of affordable luxury. But luxury buyers don't care about deals, they care about prestige. And to most, Genesis still feels like Hyundai dressed up in fancier clothes. The sales prove it. In 2024, Genesis moved 75,003 cars in the US, up from 68,798 the year before. But compared to BMW's 362,000, Mercedes's 282,000, and Lexus's 319,000, Genesis barely makes a dent. It's still chasing credibility, not dominance. Here's the warning sign for owners. Reputation and dependability are crushing resale value. In 2022, nearly 95,000 Genesis vehicles were recalled. The G80, GV60, and GV70 were pulled back for fuel pump issues that caused stalling. In the luxury segment, even a single major recall can shatter consumer trust. That translates to faster depreciation, steeper repair bills, and fewer buyers in the used market. And the ownership experience doesn't help. Genesis promised standalone luxury showrooms, but most customers still end up at Hyundai dealerships. Premium shoppers expect red carpet service, not free coffee next to Elantras. Add in 25% US tariff on Korean imports inflates prices, and even US-built models rely heavily on costly Korean parts. Meanwhile, their EV flagship, the GV60, is overpriced, unimpressive, and already falling behind. Without a major shift, Genesis risks fading quickly, leaving owners with vehicles nobody's eager to buy. But if you think Genesis is in trouble, wait until you see how quickly the next brand's reputation can fall. At number 10 on our list sits Buick. Buick is technically alive, but on life support. For decades, it's carried the reputation of being an old man's car, and that label still follows it. Younger buyers don't see Buick as stylish or aspirational. To them, it's grandpa's cruiser, not a brand built for the future. Yes, sales ticked up in 2024. Buick sold 183,421 vehicles in the US, a 16% jump from 2023. But stack that against Toyota's 2.3 million or Honda's 1.3 million, and Buick barely registers. It doesn't feel like a rival. It feels like a side note. The lineup doesn't solve the issue. In the US, Buick sells 3 SUVs, the Encore GX, Envision, and Envista. Critics slam them as Chevrolets in disguise, and buyers aren't fooled either. When your models look like rebadged siblings, any credibility as an entry-level luxury brand vanishes. Scandals have only deepened the cracks. The Tiger Woods sponsorship was meant to bring in some cool factor, but instead it burned millions and ended in embarrassment. Then came mechanical troubles. The Encore and Encore GX have suffered from engine problems, oil leaks, and turbo failures, and that's the red flag. Buick isn't strong enough in luxury to win consumer status, and it's too pricey to attract budget shoppers. For owners, that spells falling resale, dwindling dealer support, and the looming possibility that GM could shut the brand down in the US entirely. The next downfall comes from a company that once stood as the symbol of American prestige. At the 9th spot on our list is Lincoln. Few badges once carried as much prestige in American luxury as Lincoln, but today that reputation is fading. And for buyers, the red flags are hard to miss. It starts with dependability. Owners report air suspension failures that turn a smooth ride into a sagging disaster. Engines struggle with coolant leaks, oil seepage, overheating, and loss of power. Transmissions pile on the pain, with the MKZ notorious for rough shifts and the Navigator often plagued by slipping gears. Add in electrical issue from wiring faults to buggy infotainment, and customers paying for comfort end up with chaos instead. C breakdowns leave drivers sweating in vehicles sold as luxury. The MKX deals with transfer case problems. The town car is infamous for spark plug and suspension defects, and the shadow of the Takata airbag recall still haunts the brand's image. But the bigger warning sign is Lincoln's shrinking market relevance. Younger buyers aren't lining up. Competitors like BMW, Lexus, and Cadillac dominate, while Lincoln showrooms disappear. Consumer Reports ranks Lincoln 24th overall, 12th in luxury, and 13th in road testing. Hardly standout numbers for a marque once linked with precedence and prestige. For owners, that translates into weaker resale value, steeper repair bills, and declining support. Unless Lincoln rebuilds both its cars and its reputation, it risks being remembered as nothing more than a relic, dragging loyal drivers down with it. Prestige alone won't cut it. The next brand shows that even Italian flair can't cover deep cracks. And if you want the unfiltered truth about the auto industry, the kind dealerships won't admit, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Taking number 8, we've got Alfa Romeo. These cars still grab attention with their sleek styling, sharp handling, and that iconic Italian badge. But beneath the beauty lies a brand sinking quickly, and owners are footing the bill. Consumer Reports ranked Alfa Romeo 27th overall in 2025, 13th among luxury makes, and 26th in road testing. That's near the bottom. And when dependability looks this weak, resale value goes down. Shoppers steer clear, trade-in values plummet, and current owners take the hit. The problems never stop. Electrical faults trigger warning lights, infotainment glitches, and sudden shutdowns. Transmissions shift rough. Oil leaks are widespread. Suspension wear destroys ride comfort. All of this drives repair costs higher while confidence in the badge falls lower. Inside, the so-called luxury doesn't impress. Owners complain about flimsy plastics, fragile knobs, and uneven panel gaps. Instead of precision craftsmanship, they get letdowns, and the cars show age much faster than competitors. Sales prove the reality. In the US, models like the Giulia and Stelvio only move with heavy discounts, and dealer service often falls short of luxury standards. Many buyers report inattentive support, leaving them anxious about long-term ownership. Then there are the scandals. In 2019, parent company FCA shelled out billions for Dieselgate cheating. In 2024, even the branding stumbled. The planned Milano badge was blocked, forcing an embarrassing last-minute switch to Junior. Without real change, Alfa Romeo risks trapping owners with flashy cars that nosedive in value. The next brand shares that same exotic heritage, but its downfall cuts even deeper. Number 7. Maserati. Italian passion once made this badge iconic. Today, it's edging closer to collapse. In 2024, Maserati's global sales plunged 57%, dropping from 26,600 cars to just 11,300. That's not a slowdown. That's a nosedive. Models like Levante, Ghibli, and Quattroporte were once real head-turners. Now they sit untouched in showrooms while buyers flock to Porsche and BMW instead. Even Stellantis, Maserati's parent, had to bring in consultants to decide whether the brand should be sold, merged, or shut down entirely. The US was supposed to be Maserati's goldmine. Instead, import tariffs slapped on a punishing 25% tax per vehicle. That makes an already pricey Maserati nearly impossible to justify against competitors delivering more for less. To counter, Maserati has leaned on VIP experiences and custom builds. But the deeper issues remain. The EV rollout is delayed, demand is weak, and some future models have been scrapped altogether. For owners, the danger is real. If Stellantis pulls the plug, you're left with an orphaned luxury car. Parts could vanish, resale value would drop, and service might disappear overnight. This isn't just a stumble, it's a full-blown identity crisis. And if Maserati doesn't find stability soon, the Trident won't just lose its shine, it could disappear from the road completely. And if you think an iconic name can't disappear, the next brand proves otherwise. Holding the 6th position, it's Jaguar. Once representing the height of British luxury, Jaguar now teeters on the brink of collapse. Famous for its sleek sedans and growling sports cars, the brand has gutted its lineup. In 2024, Jaguar axed the XE, XF, F-Type, I-Pace, and E-Pace. In the US, only the F-Pace SUV remains, as the company wagers everything on a risky shift to fully electric luxury. That gamble has created a product vacuum. No new EVs will arrive until late 2025, with 2 more slated for 2026. In the meantime, showrooms are running on fumes with almost nothing to sell. The rebrand only made things worse. The iconic leaping cat emblem was replaced by a plain J in a circle. The new slogan "Live Vivid" came with fashion-style ads and vague taglines like "brake molds." Longtime buyers called it tone-deaf, while critics slammed Jaguar for chasing image instead of engineering. The sales crash is equally brutal. In April 2025, Jaguar registered just 49 vehicles in Europe, a shocking 97.5% drop year-over-year. Year-to-date sales fell 75.1%. Global volumes shrank from 180,833 in 2018 to just 26,862 by 2024 to 2025. Dealers are left with empty lots, resale values are collapsing, and consumer confidence is evaporating. Unless Jaguar's upcoming EVs hit perfection, this so-called reinvention could accelerate its disappearance from the road. And if you think that's just exaggeration, check out my other video on the worst car brands only clueless buyers still touch. But British luxury isn't the only one struggling. The next chapter highlights a Japanese automaker fighting for survival. At number 5, we have Mitsubishi. Once known for rally legends and street icons, today Mitsubishi is barely clinging to survival. In 2024, the brand moved just 19,843 vehicles in the US, a sharp fall from earlier years. By early 2025, the situation worsened. A new US tariff froze deliveries, leaving Mitsubishi cars stuck at ports with no clear path forward. Dealers ended up with empty lots, and shoppers had nothing new to buy. The lineup itself is collapsing. The budget-friendly Mirage has been cut. What's left? The Outlander, Outlander Sport, and Eclipse Cross, none of which are topping sales charts. Even the redesigned Outlander hasn't lived up to the hype. For owners, quality and trust have been eroded for decades. In 2016, Mitsubishi admitted falsifying fuel economy data on more than 600,000 cars, sparking raids, resignations, and billions in lost value. Before that came a massive recall cover-up scandal that wrecked its reputation further. Those crises forced Nissan to purchase a controlling stake just to keep the brand alive. On the road, things don't improve. Drivers report CVT breakdowns, weak air conditioning, faulty suspension, electrical issues, and engines that fail to start. Build quality is inconsistent, tech feels outdated, and resale values nosedive. For buyers expecting cheap dependability, the truth is harsher. Mitsubishi could end up draining your bank account instead of protecting it, and survival becomes even harder when a so-called luxury brand begins to lose its way. Number 4 belongs to Infiniti. Luxury shoppers once viewed this badge as a bold alternative to BMW and Lexus. Now, it's gradually disappearing from view. In 2024, Infiniti managed only 58,070 US sales, a 10% decline from the prior year. Over the past decade, volume has been slashed nearly in half. That downturn forced the brand to close standalone showrooms, with many Infiniti dealers now absorbed into Nissan stores. A clear signal the premium image is fading. Models are vanishing too. The QX50 and QX55 exit in 2025, while the Q50 sedan is already discontinued. What remains is a thin catalog priced beyond reach for most buyers. Scandals didn't help either. In 2018, Infiniti was caught exaggerating performance figures. Before that, recalls for airbag defects and power steering failures hit more than 1.3 million vehicles. Those blunders destroyed buyer confidence and dragged resale values down. For owners, this decline translates to fewer choices, shrinking dealer support, and vehicles that shed value faster. Reliability ratings hover at mediocre or worse. With dated platforms and CVTs holding performance back, Infiniti insists it will recover with fresh EVs and a new Q50 slated for 2027. For now, this once proud name is running out of road, leaving drivers stuck with cars that are harder to service and even harder to sell. The next downfall is even bigger. This brand was once a household name all over America. At number 3, we have Chrysler. The downfall of Chrysler is one of the steepest declines in modern automotive history. Back in 2005, the brand moved over 600,000 vehicles in the US. By 2024, sales had collapsed to fewer than 125,000, an 80% drop. Just look at the lineup today. The 300 sedan is gone. The Voyager is fleet only, and the Pacifica, Chrysler's last consumer model, is rapidly losing group. Pacifica sales dropped 11% in 2024, pulling overall volume down 22.6%, while competitors like Toyota's Sienna and Kia's Carnival surged ahead. A revival was promised with the Airflow EV, but Stellantis scrapped the project in mid-2024, calling it too costly and already outdated. With no new products in sight, Chrysler is running on borrowed time. Even Stellantis acknowledges it. CEO Carlos Tavares warned in 2024 that several brands might not survive past 2026, and Chrysler sits near the top of that list. Dealer troubles add more fuel to the fire. One major dealer defaulted on a $4.5 million loan, and a Georgia store collapsed after a fraud scandal left buyers without money or titles. Chrysler has faced setback after setback, from diesel emissions fraud and UAW bribery scandals to major recalls for stalling engines, suspension failures, and electrical faults. It's no surprise consumer confidence has completely vanished. For owners, the collapse translates to sinking resale values, shrinking dealership support, and the looming risk of being left with a car abandoned by its own manufacturer. Taking second place is Nissan. This brand once dominated the streets. The GTR, the 240Z, and the Maxima defined entire generations. But today, Nissan is fighting for survival. In 2024, US sales reached 865,938. On the surface, that seems respectable, but the details reveal the truth. The Maxima has collapsed, with sales plunging more than 90%. The Altima is sinking as well. Globally, Nissan expects a $5.3 billion loss, $3.5 billion of that from US operations alone. And it's not just sales. A failed merger with Honda in 2024 could have created the world's third largest automaker. Instead, talks fell apart when Honda demanded control. Since then, Nissan has been hunting for new partners, from Stellantis to Foxconn, but nothing has been finalized. Meanwhile, 9,000 jobs have been cut, plants are closing, and 2 planned US EVs were canceled. No hybrids, no plug-ins, no future-ready lineup. The cracks began years ago. In 2018, CEO Carlos Ghosn was arrested for concealing millions and using company funds like his personal account. His dramatic escape inside a box to Lebanon exposed corporate dysfunction that's never been repaired. Add to that an emissions scandal where Nissan admitted to rigging fuel economy tests, and consumer trust has collapsed. Now, insiders warn the company may have only 12 to 14 months left without a miracle. For owners, that spells falling resale values, unreliable service, and the very real chance of driving a brand that may not make it. And if that sounds bad, the brand sitting at number 1 will leave you stunned. Finally, number 1 is Dodge. Muscle car fans know the Charger, Challenger, and Durango, but the glory days are over. In 2024, Dodge's US sales fell under 200,000 units, and now the Charger and Challenger are officially discontinued. What's left is just the Durango, a model overdue for replacement. Dodge's EV pivot has been chaotic. The electric Charger launch faced backlash from fans angry at the loss of V8s, while production delays left dealers with empty lots. Quality concerns add to the pain. Owners report electrical gremlins, premature transmission wear, and engines prone to oil consumption. Past scandals like FCA's diesel emissions fraud still shadow the brand. For buyers, the uncertainty means plummeting resale and thinning dealer support. Dodge is betting on nostalgia and performance branding, but without real products, it risks fading into irrelevance. This once iconic muscle name is running out of horsepower. And that wraps up today's video on car brands teetering on the brink of collapse. You've seen how choosing the wrong badge can drain your wallet by thousands, but the features inside your car can be just as damaging. Check out our video on stupid car features that destroy reliability and lifespan to protect yourself even more.